Yes, Shalom, Shalom Akim. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Quadash. Give double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. And yes, the house of David is rising. Putin not joking about nuclear attack, warns Biden. Right, we're going to check out this article from, what's this, the Rediff.com article. And yeah, man, it speaks for itself. We're going to just go through it briefly, pick out some of the bullet points, and Lord willing it be edifying. So the United States President Joe Biden speaks of a nuclear Armageddon. Armageddon, yeah. So this is not a word we're unfamiliar with. You know, it's from the scriptures. We know there's movies on it. You know, the word gets thrown around, but now this is from the mainstream news. You know, so what the prophets have been saying is now coming a little bit more to the forefront. Just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. So it's good news. Yeah, it's good news for the man them that's here under this nasty, wicked and sinful generation. Yeah, those men, yeah, Lord willing, we're those men, we soon be out of this bitch. So yeah, let's carry on. The escalation in Russia, war in the Ukraine during a speech on Thursday. Armageddon, that's where we left off. In a warning about the escalation in Russia, war in Ukraine during a speech on Thursday. Biden warned of the assault on an American institution and talked of the threat of Russian President Vladimir Putin's using nuclear weapons at the New York home of James Murdoch, the son of Meadow Baron Robert Murdoch. This movie is getting more dramatic. It's a slow burner, but it's picking up. Yeah, the Most High is the author of this movie. We have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis, Biden said in New York City. Putin will not use the N-bomb. That's what they're saying. Putin in threat are attempts to bully the world. Okay, so they're saying it's just like he's just bluffing. He's bluffing. But that's what they're saying here. At a fundraiser for the dramatic senatorial campaign committee, Biden said Putin is not joking. Right. So this is what Putin is saying. When he talks about the use of tactical nuclear weapons or biological or chemical weapons, yeah, they got a lot of weapons. Russia's got a lot of weapons, so they can bully or they can talk bold. Yeah, they can talk stoutly, as the scripture says. The bear is throwing his weight about. This is because Biden said his military is, you might say, significantly underperforming. All right. I'm trying to figure out what is Putin off ramp. Biden said, what is Putin's off ramp? Where does he find a way out? Where does he find himself in a position that does not only lose face but lose significant power within Russia? Oh yeah, a lot of these civilians, the Russian civilians, are trying to all forms of tricks not to be drafted. You may have seen it on the news. The protesting that's going on, the fighting against the police, the centurions, the soldiers, people trying to commit suicide, people breaking their legs just to avoid being drafted. So that doesn't sound very convincing to me. They don't sound very confident to me there. Well, not the civilians anyway. As it says here, Putin has renewed his nuclear threat as he has announced the annexation of Ukraine's territory, some of which Russia doesn't control, and with all the call of 30,000 reserves to reinforce his flagging invasion. Earlier, Russia President Vladimir Putin had threatened to use a nuclear weapon in Ukraine in Russia territory. Integrity speaking, deep discussion in the West. Those who are trying to blackmail us with nuclear weapons should know that these are the words of Biden now. Should know that the wind can also turn in the other direction. Putin said. This is the words of Putin. Putin said, aiding this is not a bluff. All right, yeah, well, Biden did say, that's how he did start off. He did say that. Putin is not joking about nuclear attack, warns Biden. Right, we kind of know what the word means, but let's just refresh our memory. You know, if you've seen the movie Armageddon, that's how you pronounce it. Armageddon. It says here on the Google, in the New Testament, right, the last battle between good and evil before the day of judgment, a place where the Armageddon will be fought, a dramatic and catastrophic conflict, especially one seen as likely to destroy the world or the human race. Armageddon comes to mind, the movie. That's what it's saying there. Yeah. Does it say here? Jump down. If you jump down to a little bit. It says, what is the literal meaning of Armageddon? Armageddon, probably Hebrew hill of Megiddo. In the New Testament, place where the kings of the earth under demonic leadership will wage war in the forces of God at the end of history. Armageddon mentioned in the Bible only once in Revelation, right, to John or the Apocalypse. Yeah, that much is true. That much is true. It's mentioned. We're going to look at that. We're going to go to the scripture anyway. What does it say here in etymology? The catalysmic final conflict, figuratively used of a place name in Revelation 16, the site of great and final conflict, from the Hebrew Armageddon, Mount of Megiddo, a city in central Palestine, site of importance, Israelite battle. Alright, let's check it out. Let's check it out in Revelation 16. So those were words from the Biden. Yeah. If you wasn't convinced by us, if you wasn't convinced by those strange looking guys with robes on at the end of your road or in the highways and the byways, if you wasn't convinced, then maybe this might convince you. Just a little bit. Putin not joking about nuclear attack, warns Biden. It might a little bit convince you. United States President Joe Biden spoke. He spoke of nuclear Armageddon in a warning about the escalation in Russia war in Ukraine during a speech on Thursday. Let's get back to the Bible, what the Bible has to say about it. This is in Revelation 16. Let's check it out. It says, and he gathered them together in a place, and verse 16, in a place called in the Hebrew Armageddon. And we want to check it out. Just check this out. I know a lot of you know, but we're just going over it. And for those that maybe don't know, let's hear it out.
Strong's G 717, Armageddon. Armageddon.
In Revelation 16 says, yes, it is a struggle. Yeah, the scene of a struggle of good and evil is suggested by the battle plane in Istarion, which was famous for two great victories of Barak over the Canaanites and of Gideon over the Midianites, and for two great disasters, the death of Saul. Okay, death of Saul, Joshua, hence in Revelation a place of great slaughter, the scene of a terrible retribution upon the wicked. Right. The RSV translation, the name as Armageddon. the hill as air is the city of Megiddo. So that's history. That's some history there. Alright? Right? We're going to deal with prophecy because we're pushing this out. We've been pushing this out, trying to warn you. Right? The prophets have been warning you, going through, as it says. Let's bring it out in Jeremiah. We're going to start from 4. It says, and we know Jeremiah was a young man, which he grew, and he eventually he got down to serious business, dealing with his people. And we know the story of Jeremiah very well, how he felt about his own people. He started out, wanting to save them, but after he had it up to here with him. But let's read this. Jeremiah 25:4 says, and the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, but ye have not hearkened, nor incline your ear to hear. And they said, we again now every one from his evil. Turn ye again now every one from his evil way and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and to your fathers. Yeah, and that's our forefathers. Yeah, to your fathers and forever and ever. And go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Right, this is what he was doing, man. As it says there, the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, but you have not hearkened. Right, again, the same sentiments. We can say the same thing today. Yeah, the prophets, our elders and apostles, goes back from around about 69, 70s, or even further back than that. Right, getting up early in the morning, man. You understand? And getting in, and really getting in, keeping it 100. Speaking about the war, the prophecy as it mentions here, we're talking about it now. Yeah, this is just rumors though, but it gonna get real. It gonna get real, right? Right back to in the 60s, right? Getting up early every morning, man. They're talking about, and it says there, and they said, turn ye again now every one, right? Actually, we can talk about Yahushua when he was on the earth, man. We really want to get real on it, right? And all of the prophets, Jeremiah, Isaiah, yeah, John the Revelator, as we're talking about, we're gonna get into Revelation. All of them, Joshua, Elijah, King David, Solomon, yeah, the judges, Samson, Gideon, yeah, man. Also, yeah, getting up every morning early, man, to try and get you to heed and get away from false gods. Turn ye again now every one from his evil way and from the evil. Oh, we can even talk about Deuteronomy 28, Moses, man, those curses. Trying to warn you, right, of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after other gods to serve them. Oh, not forgetting Daniel 2, as it goes on to say, and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. But ye have not hearkened unto me, saith the Lord, that ye may provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon. Right, we can talk about the days of King Daniel, as it's saying here. These are Revelation 7, Revelation 2. Yeah, Babylon, my servant, and I will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof. Yeah, the Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Babylon was the gold, the head of the image. Nebuchadnezzar's dream, which was the lion, fierce lion. Yeah, that was the image that represented the Babylonians, which Nebuchadnezzar was a king at that time. the king of Babylon, my servant, and I will bring them against this land. Right. And that prophecy was fulfilled. Yeah. And the land against this inhabitants thereof, and against all those nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and a perpetual desolation. That's what happened, man. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, the gold, the head of the image, which was the gold, and also you had the lion, yeah, and you got the bear, which was represented by the Persians, the bear. Yeah, the gold represented the Babylonians. Yeah, the silver, yeah, you had the bear, the Medo-Persians, which were the silver, the brass, the Greece Empire, which was the leopard. You also had the iron, the terrible beast. Yeah, this is the image that was represented, which the iron was the terrible beast, which was the Roman Empire, the ancient Romans then, and then you got the, you might call the reconditioned or the renewed Romans back here today. Fierce, abominable, evil, doing exactly the same things they was doing then. So this was prophecy that was brought upon the Yashua, the children of Israel, via the prophets. Jeremiah prophesied these things to them, what was going to take place. So what did you have then? The same thing you had then. Jeremiah, I'll read it again. Jeremiah 25:4. The Lord hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. Right, and we looked at the word Armageddon, what it meant. Yeah, the struggle of good and evil. Right, that's the history. Right, in that as a matter of fact, let's check it again. The battle plain, during which was famous for two great victories of Barak over the Canaanites and of Gideon over the Midianites. Yeah, Canaanites and of Gideon. Right, we know he was a fierce warrior too, a judge, a prophet, a soldier, a mighty man of valor. Yeah, Midianites. Gideon over the Midianites, and for two great disasters, the death of Saul. Right, Saul eventually fell upon his sword. He became disloyal to our God Yahweh, and also was persecuting one of Yahweh's beloved prophets, King David. So the outcome wasn't good for Saul. He ended up falling upon his own sword, committing suicide. He didn't want to fall into the hands of the enemy, so he'd rather fall upon his own sword, and that was his death, as it's going on to say here. For two great disasters, the death of Saul and Josiah. Hence, in Revelation, a place of great slaughter. A lot of bad things seem to happen there at that place, that historical place, that historical monument, place of great slaughter, the scene of a terrible retribution upon the wicked. And that's what it represents. Armageddon, or the hill, the city of Megiddo. It represents death, man, and slaughter. There's a lot of bad history in that historical land right there. But we're warning you again, yeah, of the future time, as so was Jeremiah doing, getting up early in the morning, and other prophets too. Just to end off with this precept, turn over the page of Revelation. Why was Putin speaking so boldly? And also you had, for the first time, you heard Joe Biden mention the word Armageddon in a warning about the escalation in Russia, war in Ukraine during the speech on Thursday. Why were they speaking like this? And why is Putin speaking, putting on great ears? Those who are trying to blackmail us with nuclear weapons should know that the wind can also turn in their direction, Putin said, adding this is not a bluff. Why could he speak like that so boldly? And they're stout, which they're both stout, both booting Biden Dude, both Biden, Joe Biden, and Putin are stout. Yeah, they're proud. Why? Let's read it in Revelation. To end off the video, Revelation 17:7 says, "For God hath put it into their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled." That's the answer right there. He put it into their hearts, both of them, and they're gonna go at it eventually, like we looked at. But we've been warning you. The prophets have been warning you, right? The Egyptians will face off with the Egyptians, and yeah, we just have to just get your popcorn. When it comes, when Yahushua come back, well, let me say about the Jacob's trouble. You understand? But yeah, the Most High has ways. The Most High, this is the Most High's movie, and he has ways of protecting his elect. Let me say it like that. He has ways of protecting his elect. Psalms chapters 5. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. So we want to be those men giving our praises. So I want to give all praises to Yahweh Shimon Shai, giving me the spirit to do this video. And yes, the house of David is rising, and everything the wicked have done to us, past, present, future, is falling upon their own head. Until the next one.